your primetime local news leader. Fox 22 News at 10.
Tonight, Governor Mills delivered her annual address to the Maine legislature, the state of the budget, primarily focusing on her proposed biennial budget. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Devin Dagnall. That proposed budget has already received pushback from Republican lawmakers. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard has more on the address and Republican response.
On Tuesday, Governor Janet Mills officially presented her proposed budget before a joint session of the Maine legislature.
For 6 years, I've introduced balanced budgets, and with your support, these budgets have sent historic amounts of money back to Maine schools, Maine communities, and Maine people.
Governor Mills says that the way that her proposed budget is balanced is by proposing cuts to several programs, especially within DHHS, as well as raising revenues through several taxes, such as the cigarette tax.
But if I had to consider a revenue increase, I decided that I wanted it to be specific and purposeful rather than broad-based. And I wanted it to provide some social benefit in return. That's what the cigarette tax achieves.
Those proposed tax increases caused several protesters to fill the halls outside of the House to voice their displeasure.
What brought me out to the State House tonight is the fact that I've been working for 45 years, never been laid off, never been self-employed, never been without a job. But all of these new taxes are killing us.
After the State of the Budget address, Republican lawmakers shared their thoughts on what they heard.
Thankful, frankly, that she no longer has any input. This is now a legislative document. This is our document. This is not hers. And she can gloat as much as she would like to on stage tonight, that's fine, but it doesn't impact reality. Republicans, both in the House and the Senate, are going to work together to make sure that, one, we don't raise taxes on the people of Maine. I can promise you that much. And two, that we have a more responsible document both in the supplemental and in the biennial budgets that we'll work on later this year.
The budget will now face a number of public hearings and legislative scrutiny before it can be voted on by the full legislature. At the State House, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news tonight, a Burlington family has been displaced after their home was destroyed in a fire early this morning. Our Grace Blanchard spoke with the homeowners and shares more.
I looked out the window and I seen a big ball of light.
Shortly before 5 a.m., a family on the Long Ridge Road in Burlington awoke to flames right outside their window.
New house we were process of building was all in flames. And so I got 911 on the phone, and my 10-year-old son, AJ, was hollering. He said, "My glass is breaking in my window."
Tracy Sprague says they were over halfway through building a new home right next to their current one. Once that building caught fire, she says it did not take long before it spread to their home.
Took us all summer to tear down our garage and get ready to build, but now we'll have to make new plans.
Sprague says their 3 children, 2 foster children, and their dogs made it out safely, but they have lost all their belongings and their cat.
You just get out, and nothing else matters as long as you're out.
The family is currently being assisted by the Red Cross. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Authorities say it took crews roughly 6 hours to knock down both fires.
So the fire had gone underneath the house, and digging out underneath the house to try to get under where the frames were was probably the most difficult part of it. And but we got that dug in, checked everything with a thermal imaging camera before we left.
For more information on how you can support the family, visit our website, foxbangor.com. In Burlington, I'm Grace Blanchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
State police say charges are pending against 3 people following an alleged robbery in Corinth. They say an elderly woman called police just before 4 Monday afternoon to report a robbery at her home on McCard Road. She reported that a man later identified as 56-year-old Gary Rochedeau of Charleston had burst into her home and pushed her to the floor. Maine State Police say the woman told them Rochedeau fled after stealing jewelry, but she was able to give police a description of the car and his license plate number. A fire marshal investigator later spotted the vehicle on Route 15 and gave chase, but the driver refused to pull over. The chase continued through Charleston and Atkinson until finally ended with a crash in Dover Foxcroft on Range Road. Officials say 2 men fled into some woods and left a woman inside the vehicle, but they were all quickly apprehended. Gary Rochedeau is now charged with robbery and eluding his passenger. 35-year-old Kevin Bowley of LaGrange is also charged with robbery. The woman who was in the car, 52-year-old Cynthia Williams of Milo, was checked out for minor injuries at a hospital and is expected to be summoned at a later date. Police say the stolen jewelry was also recovered from the vehicle.
Well, new details tonight after a raid on a prostitution business operating out of a massage parlor in Rockland. One victim of human trafficking told police she had no idea who ran the business. But as Brad Rogers reports, detectives believe organized crime is behind it.
Police say Asian Massage operated out of this upstairs business on Route 1 in Rockland. Police say during its raid, detectives found evidence of suspected ties with organized crime in New York involved in human trafficking.
This is one piece of a much larger puzzle.
Police say their investigation began in July after Asian Massage, which was under investigation in Waldoboro, moved to Rockland.
And after doing some surveillance, they executed a couple warrants.
Police seized more than $2,000 in cash, a ledger, phone, and several notebooks and receipts. Court documents show police questioned a number of suspected Johns who admitted they received sexual services. They charged 11 suspects with engaging a person for prostitution. One of them, Mark Strong Sr., was convicted 11 years ago for helping Zumba instructor Alexis Wright run a prostitution business in Kennebunk. Police say the women in Rockland who were forced into this won't be charged.
None of them have been detained or arrested. We have provided the ones that we have made contact with resources.
Rockland police believe this prostitution business was run by organized crime.
The business here in Rockland is part of several across the state, and our law enforcement partners in other towns and cities have addressed the problems in their jurisdictions and made some arrests. There are some investigations still ongoing.
Deputy Chief Alex Gaylor told us they're working with Homeland Security and the Border Patrol to try to find those responsible for human trafficking in Maine.
The end goal is to go after the people, perpetrating these crimes, trafficking these women, and putting them into these situations.
Rockland police say this investigation is still active and additional criminal charges are expected.
Maine's highest court has struck down a law that removed the statute of limitations for civil claims about child sexual abuse. Lawmakers in the state approved the law in 2021, and it was later challenged by the Roman Catholic Diocese of Portland. The Maine Supreme Judicial Court handed down their ruling today on the law. The diocese has dealt with many lawsuits alleging abuse by priests years ago. Lawyers of the diocese told the Maine Supreme Judicial Court during arguments that they felt the removal of time limits was unconstitutional. An attorney representing plaintiffs defended the law as a way to prevent past abuses from being ignored. Well,
Senator Angus King is co-sponsoring a bill that he says will boost competition and bring down the cost of prescription drugs. The Drug Price Transparency for Consumers Act would require price disclosures on advertisements for prescription drugs to inform patients who are considering using them after they see a television commercial. A statement from King's office says studies show commercials often steer patients to more expensive drugs, even when a patient may not need the medication or a lower cost generic is available. Senator King said, quote, "Current advertising practices in the pharmaceutical industry allow drug companies to unfairly inflate the efficacy of their products while concealing their exorbitant prices. The Drug Price Transparency for Consumers Act would ensure that Maine people have more transparency, choice, and competition in the prescription drug marketplace," end quote.
Well, Sunday, a routine shift at the grocery store turned into a life or death situation for one volunteer firefighter. Our Alex Schley tells us how her quick thinking helped save a life.
Off-duty volunteer firefighter Rita Buta was working at the Shaw's in Ellsworth on Sunday. a job she's had for the past 8 years, when a co-worker reported an unresponsive man.
One of the deli associates ended up paging the assistant store director, and for some reason, the tone in his voice, by just saying the assistant's name, I instantly knew like something was the matter.
Buddha sprung into action.
I ran down the aisle, ran over to the deli section, and then that's when the gentleman was laying unresponsive.
Buddha had recently completed her annual CPR training with the Sullivan Fire Department.
He didn't have a pulse.
Without an AED on hand, she began chest compressions.
After, I think it was probably 3 or 4 rounds of compressions, I was able to find a very faint pulse, so I stopped. I took my sweatshirt off real quick, put it under his head just a little bit, and then he started breathing. You could see him breathing.
Paramedics arrived shortly after and took over care, rushing the man to a local hospital. Chief Michael Pickman II says he wasn't surprised to hear Buddha was the one who stepped in.
You know, some people run toward it, some people run away from it. And luckily, Rita happened to be in the right place, the right time, fresh training, and she jumped into action.
Buddha says she's grateful she was able to help, in hopes that this serves as a reminder of the importance of CPR training. In Sullivan, I'm Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, no,
wow.
Could have been a lot worse if she wasn't there. So
Absolutely.
I'm sure that man is very grateful for how
Certainly
things turned
our
out.
hats off to the firefighter who saved.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get a first check of our forecast.
Thank you, Beth. As you can see, clear skies out there for today, going to tonight as well, but there is some increasing cloud cover to the west. This will be our next system making its way in tomorrow morning and dropping some snow throughout our region tomorrow afternoon. So as we see, windy day out there for today, but now the winds are dying down just a little bit, right around 7 miles per hour here in Bangor, 6 by Bar Harbor. Do see some stronger winds by Machias right now, right around 11 miles per hour, but overall the winds are dying down, and throughout tonight they're going to be calm, and throughout tomorrow as well. So we will get a little break from those pretty strong winds out there for today. For tonight, we're going to hit our lows very early, right around 8 degrees, and it's going to stay steady and slowly rise going into those early morning hours. Right around 5 to 6 a.m. is when you expect those snow showers to make their way here into town. Beth?
All right, Chase, thank you.
Still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, Trump's budget office ordered a total freeze on all federal financial assistance.
And we'll be taking a look at Angus King's response, as well as other state leaders, to that proposed freeze. We'll have those stories and more local news when we come back.
Hey, pal. Ready for bed?
Hey, Dad. Do we really have the fastest internet speeds?
Yeah, with Spectrum, absolutely.
Oh, that's cool. Can I use that to research volcanoes super fast?
Of course.
Can you learn to make a diorama super fast?
Yeah, you can do that too.
How fast exactly?
The absolute fast. When's your project due?
Tomorrow morning.
How much have you done? Okay. I'll get the glue.
The fastest internet whenever you need it. From Spectrum.
Arcade has expanded, and we have dozens of new games to play. We have prize machines, including an entire section dedicated to your favorite modern games. We have games from the 80s and games from the 90s. Plus, we have the largest selection of indie arcade games in the country, along with 9-hole blacklight mini golf. We also have a brand new birthday party room. Hey, we have it all. Come on up to Orono and experience one of the most unique family entertainment centers in Maine.
Winter is a time to get outside and enjoy all that Maine has to offer. And when it's time to come inside, rest assured everything's toasty because of your Fujitsu heat pump from Valley Home Services. The comfort and warmth of home means more on days like these. Push a button and you'll be snuggling up on the couch in no time. Valley Home Services offers reliable rebates, significant energy savings, and expert installation. Embrace the comfort of Fujitsu heat pumps from Valley Home Services. Call or click today.
Rowell's Garage has been serving customers in the greater Dover-Foxcroft region since 1946. Our goal is not just selling you a vehicle, but also giving you quality service to maintain your vehicle at peak performance. Browse our inventory online or in person. Whether it's a car, truck, or SUV, we can put you in the vehicle that is right for you. Sales, service, and parts. Rowell's Garage, doing business the right way every day.
These celebrities need to ignore the fear, or this course will break them.
Yes, Seth.
Special Forces, all new Wednesdays on Fox.
Hi there, I'm Emma Smith, and coming up on Good Morning Maine, we'll hear from the Maine Republicans regarding the new state budget. And we'll have footage from the State of the Budget address given by Governor Mills. These stories plus details of the robbery of an elderly woman in Corinth, of which there's a suspect in jail, coming up on Good Morning Maine.
A federal judge blocked the Trump administration's effort to cut off a long list of federal grants and loans. Earlier in the day, the announcement caused chaos and confusion. Fox's Connor Hansen has more from New York.
When our controller went earlier today to submit our reimbursement request, wasn't able to get through.
People across the country were left wondering if they would be able to access certain federal programs. Tuesday, an Office of Management and Budget memo announced a wide range of grants and loans were being frozen. A federal judge delayed the freeze after several states sued.
We will not stand for any illegal policy that puts essential services for millions of Americans at risk.
The White House said the move targeted programs related to DEI, environmental regulations, and transgender rights. And it was not intended to cut off funds to programs like Social Security, Medicaid, food stamps, or student loans.
They are clarifying it, and I think this is not unusual for an administration to pause funding and to take a hard look.
The OMB put out an update saying it's working with agencies, and a pause could be as short as 1 day if it decides the funding doesn't violate President Trump's executive orders. Democrats argue that's not how government should operate.
President Trump plunged the country into chaos.
These are real people, ordinary Americans struggling to afford groceries, rent, and health care.
The freeze on funding has been delayed until Monday, when both sides are scheduled to argue their case in federal court. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox News.
Meanwhile, Senator Angus King had strong words in reaction to President Trump's order to freeze federal loans and grants. He gathered with colleagues in the Senate and had this to say.
This is a profound constitutional issue. What happened last night is the most direct assault on the authority of Congress, I believe, in the history of the United States. It is blatantly unconstitutional. Article 2 does not give the executive the power to determine budgets or expenditures. That power is vested in Article 3 in the Congress. And if this stands, then Congress may as well adjourn. Because the implications of this is, the executive can pick and choose which congressional enactments they will execute.
Well, Senator King went on to say that President Trump's oath tasks him with executing the laws passed by Congress, not, quote, edicts passed by the Office of Management and Budget. He says he hopes his colleagues on both sides of the aisle will come together to defend their congressional authority and push back against the order.
Well, it seems there are officials pushing back on the order and a lawsuit already in the works. Governor Mills spoke out against the order, saying in part, quote, "My administration is evaluating the effects of this order, including its impacts, but it is already clear to me that it is causing entirely needless chaos and confusion across Maine and the nation that will turn into real and serious harm if it continues. This order, like the president's threat on tariffs, does not do anything to bring down the price of eggs, bread, heat, housing, or health care, like he campaigned on. If anything, this action will drive the cost of living up even further," end quote. Meanwhile, Maine Attorney General Aaron Fry called the order unconstitutional and says Maine has already joined a multi-state lawsuit against it. He said, quote, "In addition to being unlawful, this indiscriminate action to hold back congressionally authorized federal funds generates needless uncertainty for so many individuals, families, and businesses who should be able to reasonably rely upon the funds committed to their well-being. The disruption that will follow from this unconstitutional pause will disadvantage so many Mainers and compromise the services they are lawfully entitled to."
Well, local organizations across the country are no doubt scrambling to figure out how they will continue their own missions in the face of Trump's order, and that includes Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness here in Maine. They were actually scheduled to be in our studio earlier tonight for a live interview, but had to cancel in order to deal with the fallout from the freeze order. Here's what their CEO had to say. Our organization depends on federal grants to carry out our work that benefits all people. When our federal grants are put on hold, we have to explore the difficult decision to also put the important healing work on hold too. I look forward to visiting you in the studio soon, but now 100% of attention must be with my team at Wabanaki Public Health and Wellness.
Coming up on the 10 p.m. news on Fox 22, the Senate gets ready for hearings on President Trump's most controversial cabinet nominee, Robert F. Kennedy for Health and Human Services, Secretary Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence, and Kash Patel for FBI Director.
And President Trump signed an executive order Monday night to build a next-generation space-based missile defense system to protect the U.S. We'll have those stories and more when we come back.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
Injured in an accident? Are the bills and pain keeping you up at night? Phone lines are open right now to take your call. The law offices of Joe Bornstein is working hard to get their clients all the money they deserve. Find out what your case may really be worth.
So I called Joe, the law offices of Joe Bornstein, and I got way more.
They fight hard for injured Mainers.
Call Joe at 207-CALL-JOE.
Tell the insurance company you mean business.
R&K Variety is more than just a convenience store. With delicious homemade food made fresh daily, we offer hearty meals that don't break the bank. Whether it be our delicious chicken pot pie, one of our many savory soups, or a pizza, you can't go wrong at R&K Variety. Looking for a drink after a long workday? R&K Variety is an agency liquor store with an impressive selection. R&K Variety, more than just a convenience store. We're your neighbor, chef, barista, and friend. Stop by today.
I don't often sit down, but when I do, I prefer a Flex Steel recliner.
The world's most fascinating Furniture Man recliners have been used by dignitaries to sit and discuss world issues. But he'll tell you that the most important people that use them are people like you and I. We have much more important issues, like being comfortable for the big game. Before you buy a recliner, check Dorsey's quality and price. Dorsey Furniture, Rue 1A Holden, open 7 days a week until 5 p.m.
Be comfortable, my friends.
This is Hell's Kitchen. Head chefs only.
The battle between head chefs is back.
They're burning them.
How was that burnt, Chef? You should never talk back to Chef Ramsay.
Fox Thursdays.
This is where the competition gets more intense.
These head chefs strive for a coveted black jacket.
I will fight for my spot.
Who will make it to the stunning season finale?
That's what I came here for.
I'm gonna fight harder than ever before. I got this.
Season 23 winner is...
Hell's Kitchen returns. All new Thursdays on Fox and watch anytime on Hulu.
Blazing Trails, located in Lincoln, is your #1 trusted caregiver storefront. From personalized consultations to the highest quality product, Blazing Trails provides outstanding patient services to Eastern and Central Maine. Discover how we're blazing the trails to quality holistic medicine.
There's one number you need to know. It's called Joe.
A former reality TV star turned politician is now the head of the nation's transportation department. The Senate showing strong support for Sean Duffy during a vote early Tuesday. Now the focus turns to who will lead the nation's largest health agency. Fox's Kevin Cork has the story.
The yeas are 77, the nays are 22. The nomination is confirmed.
With bipartisan support, the Senate approved Sean Duffy for the role of Transportation Secretary.
While he and I may not see eye to eye on everything, I think he's going to make a good secretary.
Some are calling this an easy vote. Up next is President Trump's controversial pick for Health and Human Services Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Do you have any response to your cousin Caroline Kennedy's indictment of you?
On Tuesday, RFK Jr. was on Capitol Hill trying to secure support ahead of his nomination hearing. A likely tough task as he face scrutiny over a video posted on X by his cousin Caroline, daughter of former President John F. Kennedy.
He lacks any relevant government, financial, management, or medical experience. His views on vaccines are dangerous and willfully misinformed. These facts alone should be disqualifying.
In the readout of the letter she sent to senators, the former ambassador to Australia and Japan described her cousin as a, quote, predator who's addicted to power. She urged the Senate, where support is already mixed, to reject his nomination.
He must answer not only for spreading wild vaccine conspiracies, but also for spreading many other outrageous claims over the years.
We don't agree on everything, but what we both agree is that America has some health problems.
Later this week, there will also be hearings for controversial nominees like Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence and Kash Patel for FBI Director. In Washington, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
Well, President Trump signed an executive order to build what is being called a next-generation space-based missile defense system for the U.S. It's modeled after the Iron Dome system used by Israel. Fox's Jennifer Griffin has details from the Pentagon.
Our only purpose, one all people share, is to search for ways to reduce the danger of nuclear war.
In this Oval Office speech, President Ronald Reagan outlined his plans for a missile defense system, later nicknamed Star Wars. On Monday, President Trump signed an executive order to build a next-generation space-based missile defense architecture to protect the U.S. from threats posed by a new generation of hypersonic glide missiles, another indication that space is becoming a warfighting domain.
We need to immediately begin the construction of a state-of-the-art Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will be able to protect Americans.
A reference to Israel's short-range missile defense system, but the Iron Dome only defends against short-range missiles in a country the size of New Jersey.
It's a metaphor. What this is about is, I would say, an agenda, a broad agenda for trying to get after the spectrum of air and missile threats.
China, Russia, North Korea, and Iran are racing to develop hypersonic weapons and drones that move so fast and maneuver at low orbit that they can evade current U.S. missile defense. Vice Admiral James Searing was the head of the Pentagon's Missile Defense Agency.
We protect the entire United States today against ICBM attack. Against a hypersonic threat, it would be much more difficult without a much more robust sensor network. The big gap in my mind is the sensing capability, being able to actually see it and track it.
The Pentagon is already in the late stages of developing interceptors to protect against hypersonic weapons, but the price tag for this multi-layered missile and drone defense architecture will be hundreds of billions of dollars. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Well, senators are considering President Trump's contention the U.S. needs to regain control of the Panama Canal. Lawmakers held a hearing on the issue today. Fox's Griff Jenkins has the latest from Washington.
We cannot turn a blind eye if Panama exploits an asset of vital commercial and military importance.
Senate Commerce Committee Chairman Ted Cruz accusing Panama of falling short of obligations under a neutrality treaty that governs one of the world's busiest waterways.
This situation, I believe, poses acute risks to U.S. national security.
It's a pressure campaign first raised by President Trump.
China essentially has taken it over, and we're not going to let that happen.
Now receiving some bipartisan support.
I am concerned about Chinese-owned ports in Panama and their proximity to the canal.
China does not control the canal. The Panamanian government does, under an autonomous authority, but Chinese companies operate ports at either end. And China's influence over critical infrastructure is growing as maritime officials sound the alarm.
All of us should lose a lot more sleep than we're losing.
The famous shipping lane, 51 miles long, was built by the U.S. but transferred to Panamanian hands in 1999 under a treaty signed in 1977 during the Carter administration. It connects the Pacific Ocean to the Caribbean Sea. More than 70% of container trade passing through is bound for or originates in America, and it's a critical passage for U.S. warships. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who will travel to Panama as part of his first international trip, echoed concerns in his confirmation hearing.
A foreign power today possesses the ability to turn
the canal into a choke point in a moment of conflict.
Panama's president has rejected Trump's push, saying his nation will maintain control of the canal. But under the terms of the existing treaty, it grants the U.S. the right to protect and defend the shipping lane if threatened. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Well, still to come on Fox 22 News at 10, our Jody Hersey was in Winterport to highlight renovations being done to their historical association.
And in sports, what did the Maine men's hockey team accomplish over the course of their bye week? We'll be right back.
Who wants to meet the cutest guy in the world? And also a baby kangaroo.
Animal Control, all new Thursdays on Fox.
Come stop by Triple S Tack Shop, 315 Hamden Road, Carmel, for quality clothing and equestrian gear.
The best bulls in the world have come to town. For bulls and their riders, those 8 seconds go by in a heartbeat. 8 seconds to become a champion, or nothing. This is America, and this is PBR.
It's bowl time, banger. Kubota PBR Banger bucks into Cross Insurance Center March 7th through the 9th. Get your tickets now at pbr.com/tickets or Ticketmaster.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter. When Northern Shores Cleaning wants to know the local forecast, they log on to foxbangor.com. Northern Shores Cleaning provides outstanding residential and commercial cleaning services to eastern and central Maine. Northern Shores Cleaning also provides off-site laundry services as well as property management.
You know what today is? It's Tuesday. But no matter what day of the week, Lowry & Associates is your go-to law firm. If you've been hurt, call us right now.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do? Call 222-2222.
I joined the Maine Army National Guard because I wanted to help the people of my community, but I never knew how far that would take me. I'm here from my hometown and I'm furthering my education. My part-time service is helping me do both. Join the team that can help you take charge of your future, just like I did with the Maine Army National Guard. Go to nationalguard.com/ME to learn more.
There is a new player on the AI field, and it has the White House worried while ChatGPT works on AI solutions for the U.S. government. Fox's Jared Halpern has more from the White House.
Tech experts and national security officials are sounding alarms following the release of DeepSeek, a new artificial intelligence app from a Chinese company that claims to perform as well as Western models like ChatGPT, but at a fraction of the cost and without the need for expensive chips.
The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser-focused on competing to win.
But American companies are pushing back with their own new innovations. On Tuesday, Microsoft-backed OpenAI unveiled ChatGPT.gov, its biggest product launch since the initial rollout. It is built specifically for government use, featuring new AI models designed to help streamline services and increase security. It comes as the partnership between OpenAI and the Trump administration is growing, despite an ongoing dispute between the company's founder, Sam Altman, and close Trump advisor, Elon Musk.
Look, he's a competitor, but I want us to compete for the right things. Let's compete for great outcomes for consumers and businesses.
And the president says he's working on new executive actions to make sure the U.S. stays the leader in global AI hardware.
when it comes to things like physical AI. NVIDIA is leading the way, has the biggest moat in software, and I think they will continue to be at the leading edge.
Last week, President Trump signed an executive order calling for the creation of an AI action plan within the next 6 months. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The major devastating wildfires in California are now at almost 100% containment, thanks to some much-needed rain. But now, back and forth comments between some Californian authorities and President Trump on the state's water supply. Fox's Jonathan Hunt has more from Los Angeles.
The devastating Palisades and Eaton fires are now more than 95% contained after much-needed rain hit Southern California on Sunday, helping the fight against the wildfires.
Started off light, and then there was a few times where it came down a little bit heavy.
After fighting fires and then rain-induced mudslides, California is now in a spat with President Trump over water supplies to the southern part of the state. Trump wrote on Truth Social Monday, quote, "The United States military just entered the great state of California and, under emergency powers, turned on the water flowing abundantly from the Pacific Northwest and beyond."
Applied tremendous pressure on state and local officials in Pacific Palisades.
President Trump claims California's state policies have prevented adequate water supplies getting to Southern California and says those policies effectively slowed down efforts to stop the devastating fires. California's Department of Water Resources said that the president's Truth Social claim is flat wrong, writing in a statement, quote, "The military did not enter California. The federal government restarted federal water pumps after they were offline for maintenance for 3 days. State water supplies in Southern California remain plentiful." And some experts agree the president is wrong.
So there's no relationship between California water policy and the fires.
While some hydrants in the Los Angeles area did run dry during the peak of the fires, local officials say it's because they were not made to deal with fires that were simply unprecedented in an urban area. In Los Angeles, Jonathan Hunt, Fox News.
All right, well, coming up, we have our full 5-day forecast. How long does the deep freeze continue?
Check it out.
After a windy day today, the winds will be dying down tonight. We'll have some calm conditions out there. And for tomorrow, another shot of snow will be making its way into the region. And throughout later in the week, we will have multiple chances for snow. How much snow are we going to get tomorrow? I'll have those answers coming right up.
Make a fresh start at Quirk Jeep with the Start Something New sales event. Lease 25 Ram 1500 Bighorn for $439 per month, or lease the Jeep Compass Limited for $349 per month. It's your Ram, it's your Jeep. Find it at Quirk in Bangor and Belfast.
Come bowl a few games here at Bangor Brewer Bowling Lanes. We're one of the only candlepin bowling alley centers in Maine, conveniently located in the heart of Brewer. You always have the opportunity to simply bowl for fun. However, you can also join a league. We have youth leagues, adult and senior leagues. Now don't forget, we also host birthday parties for under $100, and gift certificates are also available. Give us a call right away at 989-3798 to make reservations for your birthday party today.
Need your car fixed? You got somebody. Need your roof repaired? You got somebody. Need electrical work? Here's your somebody. The team at Ideal Energy Solutions is ready to tackle anything electrical in your home. From upgrading your service to handle today's appliances and heat pumps to whole house wiring, Ideal Energy Solutions is your somebody. Contractors for residential and commercial work. Don't settle for less than ideal. Go with Ideal Energy Solutions. Call today.
Fires, floods, burst pipes. Disasters happen, but the mess they leave behind doesn't have to last. For 40 years, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration has been there to help Mainers get back to the closest to normal as they can. When your property is at its worst, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is at their best, and they have been for 4 decades. Put your trust in the Bouchard team. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
Turn heads in 2025 in the Tucson Hybrid Limited plug-in at Quirk Hyundai in Bangor. With sharp styling, comfort, and EV fuel economy, Tucson is a practical choice. Lease for just $399 per month. It's your Hyundai. Find it at Quirk.
Stroopsdorf is known for cheese, laundry, and bowling.
You gotta be kidding me.
Going Dutch, all new Thursdays on Fox.
Thank you very much. For highs today, we hit them very early on. We were in the mid-30s this morning here in Bangor. Same for Bar Harbor. Lots of areas in those mid to upper 30s in the southwestern portion of the state. But then that front came through this afternoon. We can see it here on the map where that blue and gray meets. So that's when the temperatures dropped rapidly this afternoon. As we can see going into tonight, the temperatures are in the negatives near Clayton Lake. We'll be right around 8 to 10 degrees here in Bangor throughout tonight. And the temperatures will stay steady as the new system does approach. We'll have a nor'easter crossing the coastline tomorrow afternoon. That's going to be bringing some snow across most of the central portions of the state and the coastal regions as well. You guys will not be seeing much of that up north, and the temperatures will stay way cooler for highs tomorrow afternoon. Right around 10 degrees is what you'll see in Clayton Lake, but we will be in the low to mid 20s here in Bangor and by the coastal regions, a lot warmer. Mid to upper 20s by Deer Isle and mid to upper 30s for those areas by Portland. That's where you have a chance to see a little bit more rain than snow for tomorrow, but that'll be the only area seeing that. Average highs this time of year right around 28 degrees. We're below that for tomorrow, and especially Thursday with those mostly sunny skies after the front makes its way through, but still feeling a lot colder out there with the highs right around 15 degrees. It will be a cooler weekend as well. Low to mid 20s for Saturday and Sunday, and then well above average going into Monday. That high is expected to hit right around 40 degrees, and then a little bit below going into Tuesday. That cold front will then hit highs right around 24 going into next week. So it was a windy day out there for today, but we are now seeing the winds start to calm down right around 7 miles per hour here in Bangor right now. 6 miles per hour in Bar Harbor. You get the idea. Still some breezy winds by Greenville and Frenchville right around 12 to 13 miles per hour. Other than that, we will see some calm conditions here in Bangor for tonight. As you can see, clear skies right now across the state, but some increasing cloud cover will make its way through. Here's what we got coming our way for tomorrow afternoon. It's actually going to arrive pretty early on in the morning hours. 5 to 6:30 is when we could see that start to make its way in. Here we go. 5:30 here in Bangor is when you expect that snow to arrive. It'll be a lot earlier for you people in the southwestern portion of the state. But as you can see, the coastline will be seeing lots of snow throughout tomorrow afternoon as well. And then we'll have another shot tomorrow evening right around 4:30 is when we expect some more snow to make its way here into Bangor. After that, that was that cold front passing through, decreasing clouds, and another cold night where we'll be in the single digits once we go into Wednesday night. But as we can see, for snowfall totals, we're going to get a good amount of snow. 2.5 inches is what we show on the RPM model right now. We're thinking right around 2 to 4 is going to be the ballpark for snowfall amounts tomorrow. As you can see, heavier amounts where the darker blue is in the eastern portion of the state. In many areas by the coastline, Bar Harbor and Rockland, you guys could definitely see right around 4 inches or maybe even more as well. For tonight, though, our low right around 8 degrees, and we'll have those increasing clouds moving their way in with the snow showers showing up very late, right around 5:30, 6:30 a.m. Highs tomorrow right around 23 degrees. Snow is going to be likely, and we are most likely going to see right around 2 to 4 inches of snow here in our region for tomorrow. All right, taking a look at our extended forecast, we can see we're cooling off for Thursday. Mostly sunny skies, though. That high right around 15 degrees. Back up near 30 for Friday with more chances for snow, and we will get another chance for snow going to the end of the weekend on Sunday. That high right around 25 degrees. Beth?
Definitely know that folks have been waiting for some snow. Maybe we could tick up the temperature just a wee bit.
Maybe a little bit, but you know, I'm sure that they're grateful that they're finally going to be able to get out on those snowmobiles and really enjoy the weather.
Yeah, absolutely. So we hope those snow dumps are pretty good for them.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, sports is next with Tyler Cruz.
When you shop Bob's everyday low prices, you never have to haggle to get the lowest price for the best features.
Honey, I want a tranquil farmhouse bedroom with built-in headboard lights, cedar and felt-lined drawers, USB ports, and storage drawers in the bed, all for $1,800 less than other national retailers.
You drive a hard bargain. Aren't they adorbs? Shop Bob's everyday low prices and see how much you can save when you dare to compare at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Winter is a time to get outside and enjoy all that Maine has to offer. And when it's time to come inside, rest assured everything's toasty because of your Fujitsu heat pump from Valley Home Services. The comfort and warmth of home means more on days like these. Push a button and you'll be snuggling up on the couch in no time. Valley Home Services offers reliable rebates, significant energy savings, and expert installation. Embrace the comfort of Fujitsu heat pumps from Valley Home Services. Call or click today.
It's high school basketball season, and ABC7 and Fox 22 are here to keep you up to date with your local scores and highlights during Friday Night Fast Break. Get out and support your hometown teams and look for our sports crew to get your own free Friday Night Fast Break t-shirt courtesy of
Joe's Market, Kelly Jost, State Farm Insurance Agent, Outlaw Dance Company, Overhead Door Company of Bangor, Tilton's Auction, and Twin City Tile.
Brandywine Graphics makes it easy. We are the top source for screen printing, embroidery, branded merchandise, and direct-to-garment printing. With 25 years experience, state-of-the-art equipment, and a commitment to excellence, why trust your apparel products with anyone else? And now, Brandywine Graphics can easily launch online stores for your school or organization. Simply design your products from brands like Eddie Bauer, Carhartt, and more. Share the link and we'll do the rest. Like we said, Brandywine Graphics makes it easy. Find out more at brandywinegraphics.com or at our Hamden location.
Indiana takes on Purdue. Fox College Hoops Friday tips off at 8 Eastern.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. We'll start on the ice. Maine men's hockey enjoyed a rare weekend off as they had their bye week, but they are back on the ice gearing up for a meeting with Northeastern this coming Friday. Maine took the bye week to work on numerous parts of their game with a major area of focus being goal scoring. The Black Bear offense is still the 10th ranked scoring attack in the country. However, they've been fairly quiet as of late, scoring more than 2 goals just once since the holiday break compared to 11 games with more than 2 goals before that break. But head coach Ben Barr says that typically comes with the territory in a long season.
You know, we're obviously going through some things too right now, just kind of, you know, trying to find it a little bit, you know, offensively, and you know that becomes you know, every day you see some guys are gripping it and trying to do too much and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's part of what you go through as a team over the course of a year.
The Black Bears are still generating high shot totals in these games, but they just can't seem to find the back of the net. Assistant captain Nolan Renwick says it's important to keep that in mind and that they focused on the process of creating these chances rather than the outcome of the puck crossing the red line.
I think practice is different because, you know, you can score a bunch of goals in practice, but once the lights get bright, you know, you don't want to be gripping your stick or anything. And I think the biggest thing, too, is you don't want to be focusing on scoring goals. You know, we're a process-oriented team, and we want to be focused on what it's going to take to get us to those scoring opportunities. And then when you get that opportunity, I think the mindset just has to be put it through the net.
Puck drop is 7 p.m. at the Alfond on Friday. Let's go to the basketball court now. Big Tuesday on the hardwood as the regular season winds down. We'll start with an early afternoon matchup at the Cross Center. Shed Tigers taking on the Bangor Christian Patriots in some Class D girls action. Second half, Patriots up, Tigers have it. Entry pass a bit strong. Look at Kiara Barnes, right place at the right time, knocks in the layup 4-2. Patriots now, Lindsay Duras, the skip pass over to Carly Andrews. She pump fakes, drives it, floats it up, and gets the roll for 2. Those friendly cross-center rims. Rivers Bradford has it now for the Patriots over to Duras, who swings it back to Andrews. Her catch-and-shoot jumper is good from the corner. To the fourth quarter now, Tigers have it. Adrina Fenderson with the shot in traffic. Strong move right there to get that one to go. Tigers would lead in the fourth, but the Patriots would lock it up down the stretch. Duras gets inside, floats it up and in for 2. Bangor Christian wins 30-27. Heading over to Brewer now as Gardner made the trip up 95 to take on the Witches. Brewer putting their 12-2 record on the line. Gardner came out pushing the pace in this one. Braden Elliott dishes to Brady Peacock on the break to open the scoring. Shortly after, it's Elliott again, this time with the no-look pass to Nick McKay, who lays it in for 2. Elliott impressed on Tuesday. Tigers lead by 1, Witches on the attack now. Owen Fullerton finds Jake Perry, who floats it up and gets it to fall. They extend their lead to 5. Brewer again, this time Perry returns the favor. He finds Fullerton, who makes the tough reverse layup to extend the lead. He had 19. Brewer on the break now, and freshman Ollie Higgins slams it home. He had 17. Brewer goes on to win 57-45. All right, we go to just a town over now, the Stable, where the Hamden boys hosting Camden Hills in a battle in Class A North as well. We pick it up in the third quarter. Tucker Whitley steals the ball, finds Tegan Lowe, who lays it up and in for 2. Broncos now, Sawyer Worcester has it. He drives to the basket, gets the foul, and 1 as he trims that Camden lead to just 4 in the second half. Windjammers now Nolan Ames has it, drives down the lane, then shows off with that slick pass to Lowe, who finishes with the right hand to extend that lead to 8. Worcester again now, this time fades away from contact, hits the tough floater, trying to keep the Broncos in it, but Camden's hot hand would be too much. Matthias McPhail hits the 3, and Camden Hills wins it by 10, 65-55. All right, finally heading down east now, Ellsworth Eagles at home hosting the John Baptist Crusaders. Two teams vying for seeding as the season winds down. First quarter, look at the inbounds play from Ellsworth. Credit Lily Bean on the full court assist as she finds Allie Bivens for 2. That's one way to break a full court press. John Baptist now, Claire Gattani is going to get it inside, makes her move in the post, gets under the defense and lifts it up and in for 2 with the left hand as well. Baptist again, Stella Getz directing traffic. She finds Jessie Grant open inside, and she finishes it off for 2. Here they come again on the baseline drive, but there's Lily Bean with the monster rejection. Nice D from the Eagles. Here's Bean again, saving the ball off the miss, getting it back out to Violet Ray. She finds Austin Atherton for 2. Nice play there. Eagles go on to win 42-32. All right, and that is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
When you're ready to tackle your next building project, depend on the knowledge and experience of Hammond Lumber Company. Hammond's Home Planning Center will turn your ideas into accurate conceptual drawings, and 3D visualization is available. Your Hammond sales rep will prepare a materials list and cost estimate. And when you buy all of your materials from them, Hammond will refund all of your design fees. Hammond can deliver your order from any of their 22 locations across Maine and New Hampshire. Hammond Lumber Company, your building project partner since 1953.
Who has the best kept secret in Penobscot County?
We do!
Welcome to Maple Lane Farms, a 5th-generation family farm that's committed to providing you with the best quality products. Our farm-raised local and sustainable meat is flash frozen to lock in the freshness and natural flavors. Experience the top-notch quality of our meat that's naturally raised without any antibiotics or hormones. Get the best of both worlds, quality and affordability. Try Maple Lane Farms today, the candy store for the carnivore.
R&K Variety is more than just a convenience store. With delicious homemade food made fresh daily, we offer hearty meals that don't break the bank. Whether it be our delicious chicken pot pie, one of our many savory soups, or a pizza, you can't go wrong at R&K Variety. Looking for a drink after a long workday? R&K Variety is an agency liquor store with an impressive selection. R&K Variety, more than just a convenience store. We're your neighbor, chef, barista, and friend. Stop by today.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
It's the Furniture Gallery's anniversary sale. Celebrate with us and save big. Queen mattresses as low as $198. Want to recline? Recliners start at just $298. Or upgrade to a power recliner for just $398. Reclining sofa and recliner? Just $998. The Furniture Gallery anniversary prices don't stop there. Refresh your living room. Sofas starting at just $448. Complete your bedroom. 5-piece set for only $898. Support our main family-owned business and save money. The Furniture Gallery.
Chiefs.
Everything you got, every single play.
Eagles.
Barkley, touchdown.
Super Bowl 59 is on Fox and streaming on Tubi.
In less than 2 weeks, the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs meet in New Orleans for Super Bowl 59. But the big game can't be possible without the game ball. Fox's Kelly Saberi is at the Wilson Sporting Goods Factory in Ada, Ohio, where the pigskin process can begin.
Before the confetti even came raining down on the Kansas City Chiefs, the workers at this Ada, Ohio factory got to work creating the Duke, the official football of the NFL. The work continued through the night so that by Monday morning, 54 balls are ready to be sent to both teams to be prepped or broken in. Then another set of 54 balls went out on Tuesday. One of the most difficult parts of manufacturing the ball is known as turning. Literally turning the leather inside out with just a couple of motions. Some NFL players think they can do this, only to be sadly mistaken when they visit the factory. And I tried it myself.
And pull it down?
They did try to give me some grace by acknowledging that the machinery was much taller than me. While the Duke has evolved to include microchip technology, collecting data on athletes, the craftsmanship has stayed the same. Some of these sewing machines are 80 to 100 years old. Wilson executives and plant leaders we spoke to share the same sentiment. Without the hard work and talent of the people in this town, there wouldn't be the Duke.
It is required that the NFL game ball be made in the United States, and we're proud of that. We wouldn't do it any other way anyway, because no one can build footballs like our people in Ada can.
They don't underestimate the impact of what they're doing here. The ball and it being on the world's largest stage, come Super Bowl 59, they'll all be watching, whether they have a team in the game or not. They're watching this ball.
While the Browns have never been to a Super Bowl, the folks here in Ada are always represented on the field. In Ada, Ohio, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
Such a neat story there. Well, finally tonight, the Winterport Historical Association is undergoing renovations aiming to rekindle community interest and preserve the rich history of the town for future generations. Our Jody Hersey has the story.
The Winterport Historical Association, or WHA, is hoping to rekindle the public's interest in this town's history.
Well, I believe that the building we're in now was built, I think, 1834. I think it was built the same time as the Union Meeting House, and it was the vestry for that building.
The Winterport Historical Association building and museum is currently closed for the season, but that's not the only reason the doors are shut.
We've had a water break this winter. The pipes froze. The bathroom that we have there filled with water. So the water is off. It's drying out. We're looking to get a bathroom renovation done.
Other renovations to the building include adding insulation, replacing the heat source, and even converting the kitchen into a research room.
We have our town reports going back into the 1860s. We have the Winterport had a high school here for a while, so we have our yearbooks, almost all of the yearbooks.
Deej Patterson says there's so much about this small community many do not know.
Amazingly, a lot of people don't know that Winterport was named because it was the winter port for the ships coming up back in the 1800s. And I think people didn't know it was part of Frankfurt for quite a long time.
The WHA currently has 66 members, the largest amount ever. But more donations and volunteers could help the WHA building and museum look like new again.
The history is so important to pass on and for to feel like you have a vital community.
In Winterport, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, that is going to do it for us tonight. From everyone here at Fox 22 News, take care and have a great rest of your evening.
We'll see you later.